Hi everybody, welcome back to Catherine Sews. Thanks so much for joining me today. So in my last video, I took you through all of the mysterious and intimidating aspects of using a store-bought pattern. We looked at lots of different examples from different patterns, and then we zoned right in on McCalls 8070, which I think is just the perfect hoodie pattern. So this is the second part of the three-part series of getting to know sewing patterns. So today I'm going to show you the layout and cutting of this hoodie and just some little tips and tricks to help streamline the process for you. Part 3 of the series, we're going to be sewing this up. So there's not too much more I need to say before we're ready to just jump right in, lay out the fabric, pin on the pieces, and start cutting.
This McCalls 8070, we're going to do view D. I'm going to be making the medium. And so I'll be using this layout here. This second layout is for the larger size range, but I'll be doing the medium. So it's in two separate pieces. Here we have just the regular lengthwise fold, the two selvages together, and that's just for cutting the sleeve and pocket. And I'm actually going to be changing this because we only need one pocket. So to me, there's no purpose in putting it like that. I'm going to show you what I think is a better way. The second piece of fabric is what I call a window pane fold, where there's a fold on the top and the bottom. The two selvages are brought together in the middle. And the reason for doing that is because piece number 2, which is the front, and piece number 4, which is the back, they both need to be on the fold. So you need to create two folds. Otherwise, you can do it all in a lengthwise fold like this, but you would need a lot more fabric. So I'm actually going to be changing this because to get the two hoods here, they don't need to be on the fold. So I can put them on this piece that's the lengthwise fold. I can easily do exactly that over here. And then the cuff and the waistband, I'm going to be cutting out of ribbing. You can cut them out of the same fabric, and they could also go on here on the lengthwise fold without too much of a problem. So the only thing that you need to have on the window pane fold is the front and back. Good. All right. So I actually am working with two different colors. I've got sort of a medium gray and kind of an oatmeal color. So if you did want to do yours in two different fabrics like I'm doing, I've got about just under a yard of the oatmeal color. And then in this darker one, I've got about 1.33 yards. It's like 48 inches. Yours can absolutely, though, be all of the same fabric. You would just have a section of your fabric that is cut to be a little bit longer than your piece number 2 and piece number 4. And they go on this window pane fold. I just happen to have two pieces of fabric that this fits on that go nicely together. I'm going to be happy with it being in two different colors, but absolutely you could just do the same fabric. For the window pane fold, I've got the fabric folded here, the two selvages are in the middle, and then another fold over on that side. So you just bring your selvages to meet in the center. That's all that is. It's pretty easy. And over here, I've got the fabric in the regular lengthwise fold. Both my selvages are together over there, and this is where I'm going to cut the sleeve and the two hoods, and I'm going to cut the pocket. Over here I've got a piece of ribbing in a light gray that's going to look nice with this. I'll get piece number 8 and piece number 9. So I've got all my pieces planned out as to where they're going to go, and that is a very good idea, to plan out everything where it's going to go before you start cutting. It's really a bad idea to just pin one piece and cut it and pin the next piece and cut it. The odds of it working out are pretty slim, so better to plan everything before you even start pinning. You might notice that there are no lengthen and shorten lines on the front and back body. Probably because it's straight through the body. There's no taper and flare. So if you wanted it shorter or longer, you can just add or take off from the bottom. Okay, anytime you have piece going on the fold, you want to get that line right on the fold and either put some weights or put a couple of pins in there to start. When you're pinning, you want to get your pin in and back out of the paper. It doesn't do any good to just stab it through and leave it, because that does not hold. Once the fold is pinned, then I can come around and do curves. So let's talk a little bit more about pinning. If I pin like this, that gives me a big problem because I'm going to be cutting right on that medium line, so that pin is right in my way. So the pin cannot cross the cutting line. Also, if I pin like this, that's a problem. because as soon as I cut, the pattern's going to be moving away before I'm probably ready for that. Pins have to go inside your cutting line. Don't let yourself be confused by the letters that are marking the symbols. It's the line we want to follow. I'm going to be putting my pin inside the medium line. Pin corners and curves and about every hand width in between. Sometimes when my students pin, they reach under to be able to put their pin through. And now nothing is smooth anymore, so don't do that. Keep everything smooth. Don't lift up your fabric. Just place it in and push it through like that. Keep everything flat and smooth. Good? All right, so now on the other side, I'm going to show you another method. Instead of pinning, you can use weights. You can buy fabric weights. You can make your own. Hockey pucks make perfect weights. Instead of pinning, I can just throw down a few pucks. That's usually what I do when I'm going to use a rotary cutter. So let's talk about both. When you're cutting fabrics, you want your scissor to be staying flat on the table like that. You're not going to be picking this up. Remember, we want to keep everything smooth. So I'm just going to come in. I've had students say to me, oh, well, I cut it out outside the line just in case. It doesn't work like that. You need to cut precisely and sew precisely to get a good finished product. These little triangles are notches. Some of them are important, some of them are not. So use scissors that have a good point, and you're just going to be snipping into that. Not even as long as that triangle, just a small snip. If you make your snip too long, when you sew that seam, you'll have a hole right there. Not all notches are important. This one at the shoulder, I really don't find it that important. The seam is only about 6 inches long, and if you get lost between here and there, we've got other problems happening. So not every notch is important. The notches on the armhole or arm side that correspond to the notches on the sleeve, those are important. They're just really helpful when you go to set the sleeve. Little snip there. Single notch means front, and you'll see over here, double notch means back. This notch at the bottom is where you're going to be matching to the waistband. I just use quarter marking, so I'll be marking the side seams and center front. So I would rather have a notch right at the center front. I'm going to just do a little snip right there. This circle here says for B and D, and I'm doing D, so that circle is where the corner of the pocket is going to sit. So that one actually is useful for me, and so is this one down here. So I will mark those, and I'll just show you how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stab a pin right straight through there and through this one. Just stab it straight through. Those I want to mark on the right side because I'll be attaching the pocket to the right side. So I'm going to just separate this out. I'm just going to use my friction pen to make a dot on both right sides. Take out that pin and then work my way to there. And there's a dot there and there. Good. I'll take out all the pins, but I am going to keep that pattern piece just folded neatly with that. I don't need to leave any pins in, but I'm just going to fold that up with the pattern piece in there. The other option, other than pinning and cutting with scissors, is to use a rotary cutter. Be careful with these. If you're a beginner especially, don't be naive. Like, these can cut you really badly, so be cautious. Keep the rotary cutter closed when you put it down, just so nobody accidentally grabs that. Even when it is closed, I've actually cut myself when the guard is closed, so be careful with that. Sometimes they get loose and wiggly. That's not safe either. Just put your thumb on that and then tighten it up here, but not so tight that it's hard to push. So just a nice comfortable finger tight there. Good. So I can cut out almost all of this with the rotary cutter. If a curve is too tight, I might find I'd rather do that with scissors, and definitely the notches I will be cutting with scissors. Never try to cut notches with the rotary cutter, because for sure you'll cut them too deep and then you'll end up with a hole in your seam. And you don't have to go back and forth a bunch. It should just cut through like butter. Nice like that, hey? It's pretty gorgeous, right? Using a rotary cutter is just, it's a pleasure. So the only notches I need from here are the one on the armhole or arm side, that double notch. Clip both. I also like to have a notch at the center back of the neck for when I attach the hood, and then here the center back for attaching the waistband. So by cutting those little notches, I've already got the body quarter marked. So down here, I'm going to have the hood cut twice. You could line the hood in like a t-shirt weight knit. That will be fine. But it's actually quite nice to have for the fabric. It makes the hood really like soft and luxurious and cozy feeling. So I'm going to be able to flip this and cut the hood a second time over here. The sleeve is fine there. And then remember I was saying that I don't like how they show the pocket on the layout because I only need one. So I'm going to put this line here that says center front. I'm going to put that line right on the fold, and then I'll just have my one pocket. I'm going to continue with the weights and the rotary cutter. Just make sure your fabric is smooth and your fold is parallel to the selvage. We've got 2 selvages over there, right? It's very easy to fold your fabric wrong and fold it on the crosswise grain, and then you get everything stretching up and down instead of stretching around your body. You'll notice here I'm overlapping the tissue paper. That doesn't matter at all. As long as I'm not overlapping the cutting lines, I'm still okay. For markings on the hood, there are a few that I want. I don't really need these ones on that seam because it's a pretty clear shape. It's going to go together nicely. I'm not going to get lost here, so I don't really need that. What I do need, this triangle here, that's going to align with the shoulder seam. So that might be helpful when I'm putting on the hood. I'm going to snip a notch pointing right at my medium triangle there. This little notch too I might as well get because I did cut it on the neck, so that would be the corresponding one there. Okay, good. This circle, the pattern suggests using a grommet for passing a drawstring through. And I think I will put a drawstring in here, but I'm going to actually do it with a buttonhole instead of a grommet. I also want that on the right side of the fabric. So again, I'll stab a pin through my medium dot, separate out the layers, and put my dot on both sides of the right side. When I go to recut that hood, I'm going to cut the same notches, this one and this one, but I don't need that dot on both layers of my hood, just on the one that's going to be the outer one. One thing to stress is that anytime something is placed on the fold, you never ever cut that fold. I can't tell you how many times I've had students place it neatly on the fold and then they cut the fold. So no, it's meant to open up to be one piece. Inside corners like this, you cannot get with the rotary cutter. You'll just cut way too far for sure. So I'm going to save that little bit for the scissors. The notch at the bottom of the sleeve is actually helpful because that helps me to quarter mark the sleeve. I definitely don't need this notch that's only like 3 inches from the end there. For the markings at the top of the sleeve, I definitely want to have these double notches. That corresponds to the double notch on the back. I don't need that. That's just where you would be easing. There's very little ease in this pattern. This circle at the top, that is what's going to sew to the shoulder seam. And so again, I'm going to treat it like a notch, and I'm just going to make a snip pointing towards those circles. And then I just need that one, that little snip right there too. Don't need that one. There's the sleeve done. So now the cuffs and the waistband. For straight pieces like that, you might find it easier to work with a thick ruler like this, just to give myself a good straight line to start with. The line that is cut on this edge is fairly straight, but it's not perfectly straight. And for a cuff piece, we want to kind of be perfectly straight. Never ever use one of these see-through rulers. Very bad idea to use with a rotary cutter. It's just way too thin. You can actually cut the ruler and you can hop up on it and cut your fingers. I've done that. This thicker one, I'm still going to keep my hand well clear, and then I can just use the edge of the ruler to give myself a nice straight line. I want 2 of these on the fold. I'm gonna have this line right on my new cut line. It's nice and straight, but then I'm gonna use the ruler again. It's just easier to get a good straight line up against the ruler. And then we want that one more time. If my ribbing was big enough, I wouldn't cut 2 on the fold. I would cut 1 on the fold that's twice as long. Right now, with it being 2 on the fold, we're going to have 2 side seams. It's just not necessary. If your ribbing is wider, cut 1 on the fold, but twice as long. that just fits in there perfectly. But why shouldn't I do that? On knits, the grain line matters a lot. I want this cuff to be able to stretch around my wrist, not up and down. So that grain line has to go this way. So I could either place it up here, but then I've got this wasted piece here. So I'm actually going to continue this line straight across and then refold this bit. This is the notch that corresponds to the one on the bottom of the sleeve.
Okay, awesome. So all the pieces are cut out and we're ready to get to the fun part, which is sewing it up. So I'll see you back here for part 3 of the series of getting to know sewing patterns, and we'll be jumping right onto the sewing machine. So until then, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know as soon as that 3rd video comes out. I'll post it below and at the end of this video as well once it is out. So I can't wait to see you next time here on Catherine Sews. Till then, you take care.